and the best part, we're done.
YouTube channel, meet John. My dad, my #1 crew guy, and the man that has made everything possible in my racing career. Now, since my dad is known as the truck driver on the team and is always logging tons of miles, I figured we would do a little road trip Q&A to ask him some of the questions you've been wanting answered lately. Well, we are driving through Dunsmuir, California right now, on our way to Red Bluff, California to compete in points race #1 at the Red Bluff Outlaws. And I'm sitting up front with my dad, John, and we are going to be doing our annual road trip Q&A, we like to call it, where we ride up front in the RV, and I ask him the questions that you guys sent in to my social media accounts. So we're gonna jump right into the questions. Like I said, these were questions that you guys sent in, you wanted me to ask, and we will get his answers. So the first question, everyone wants to see you race. Mom's raced, Carly obviously runs, Carissa doesn't, but is there a chance out of anything we could maybe see you in a cage clone or a 4-cylinder or something like that?
Maybe. Gotta find a seat big enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Probably size 17.
So that's a possibility.
Unless I could use a milk crate.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could do something on the backyard track, but I think maybe when I hop, because I want to run a 4-cylinder, maybe when I get that chance, Dad can get the chance to run it too. So we got a variety of questions here. The next one is, with everything that we do, how do you balance everything between, you know, racing, work, running everything, being the top guy? How do you run everything?
I don't. It runs me.
It runs you?
It runs me.
It's like
first come, first serve. If the phone rings, it's business. If the phone's not ringing, it's racing.
Would you have like any advice for anyone on maybe what to do to, I mean, because it is hard. It's easy for everything to fall apart, or it's easy for things to happen. Sometimes things go good.
We have to work real hard every day to go race.
Yeah.
So most of our days are 12 or 14 hours long, and to get our work done so that we can spend all night driving and then racing the next day.
So we went to a lot of places in 2021. What was your favorite track and why?
Probably Knoxville.
It's kind of hard for that not to be the favorite.
But besides Knoxville, I'm going to say I liked Lake Ozarks. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Attica, Fremont, all the Ohio
Pretty
tracks.
much all the tracks were, I mean, it's just cool to go to new places. But yeah, I would say, if I had to answer this too, like, there's nothing like racing at Knoxville, being the sprint car capital of the world. But I did really enjoy Fremont. That place was fun. Anywhere we ran good was always cool, but I would agree. So Lake Ozarks, Fremont, pretty much there wasn't, I think there was a lot more tracks we would say were good than we would say were bad. So we were definitely pretty blessed with the places we got to run. So this is a question about the past, and actually I don't even know the answer to this, but what was the first big rig you drove, and like how did you learn how to drive big vehicles?
When I was 14 years old, I was driving milk truck, picking up milk at dairies in Southern Oregon. That was my first experience. My grandfather put me behind the wheel, worked with me. We 13 speed, learned how to shift, and I would drive on all the back roads in the dairies, getting the milk truck in and out, picking up milk, and then once in a while I got to drive the truck down to the plant to unload the milk.
That's definitely a fun fact. Our family, past generations, not now currently obviously, but we're heavily involved in the milk business and dairy and all that. So we got the chance to race against some crazy competition this year. Outlaws, All-Stars, ASCS, the list goes on, even some of our big local shows. And excluding Kyle Larson, maybe name 3 drivers that maybe like not necessarily surprised you, but you just really realized how good some of these guys were since we were, you know, I mean, when we had the chance to run 10 or 15 shows in the Midwest this season.
I mean,
the list is bigger than 3, but
yeah, the list is bigger than 3, but you have Paul McMahon, Courtney, and Corey Eliason.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's 3. And like I said, the list gets bigger. Sometimes that is just the guys in your heat race right there.
Yeah, but I mean, and they all do the same thing we do.
goes for any type of car, but what advice would you give for someone trying to learn how to set up their race car and just become more knowledgeable about the sport? Because, you know, we're trying to learn as much as we can about sprint cars because that's obviously what we race. Outlaw cars, it took us years to get it dialed in, but what would your advice be to someone trying to, you know, become more knowledgeable on that side of things?
Just try to find somebody that you can learn from. I mean, trying to find somebody that knows the business, that's willing to teach the basics, you know, and if you can't find that, there is books out there to read. That's what I'm doing right now.
I mean, that's the side of things. Unfortunately, you could be the best driver, but if you don't know how to set up your race car, or you don't have someone that has that knowledge, or, you know, has the complete package, you know, it's really hard to go fast, especially in this day and age when a lot of people have such good equipment. Now, out of all of our years of racing, is there a moment off the top of your head where, not a good moment, it's like an oh crap moment is what they called it in the question. Is there a moment where like a crash, or when something, I mean, is there something right off the top of your head you would say was the biggest oh crap moment watching Carly or I?
Yeah, I mean, this year Cottage Grove, this year Coos Bay, when she flipped over,
Yeah.
and she was upside down, and you know, it's pretty bad when you're the first one there on the scene before the safety guys.
Yeah.
And
Granted, you did move very fast.
trying to get her calmed down out of the car, and holding my hand over the fuel tank because the fuel's coming out the vent.
Yeah. So since we are heading down to the Red Bluff Outlaws, I got a couple Red Bluff questions for you. The first one being minus, because I think we would all almost agree, what has been your favorite Red Bluff moment, minus winning the 41 races? I mean, that was awesome, but I think we can all agree that's definitely towards the top. Is there like another moment that stands out, maybe from, I mean, any of the years we've been racing there so long, but...
Just all the moments are great. I mean, I think the interaction that we have down there as a family, as you and a driver, you and Jimmy, everything that goes on with you and Carly, I mean, it's just phenomenal. I mean, it's one big family, and your relationship with your car chief down there is, I think, something special.
So you kind of answered this, but our last question, in your opinion, what is it that makes Red Bluff so special? Because most people wouldn't think it has anything, it's just another track, but it does have something a lot of places don't.
I think it has the competition. I mean, plain and simple. You have some of the best drivers that travel here to race. The program's first class, and look at the people that have come out of go-kart racing from Northern California, and look at where they've gone. I mean, you've got Kyle Larson, you got Reddick, you got Logan Seavey, you got Rico. I mean, you got Rico, you got, I mean, it goes on and on. Matt Benedetto, you got, I mean, you know, there's a lot of them. So
something about it, something in the water.
There's something there that's very special.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like I said in the previous, would not trade Red Bluff for anything, and I'm excited to be back this weekend. Well, thank you. We're about 30 minutes away from our destination. Thank you guys for tuning in, sending in questions, and we are going to see you guys on track this